The greatest battles you face are not outside of you, they are within your own heart, and the key to victory is found not in your hands, but on your knees. Do you understand this? Many of you wander, searching for strength in the world's applause, seeking approval, love, and validation in fleeting places. You look at others, at their lives, their beauty, their power, and you wonder why your own soul feels empty, why your spirit feels weary. But I tell you, the wellspring of your power, the true fire that can ignite your life, lies in prayer. Not in words alone, but in the intimacy of your heart, the surrender of your spirit, the courage to open yourself fully before God. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a young woman burdened by life's expectations, shackled by judgment from those around her. She walks through a crowded city, her head bowed under invisible weight, hiding tears that no one else can see. Her friends call her strong, but she feels weak. She prays quietly, almost in desperation, "God, if you are there, help me." She expects an immediate answer, a miracle, and at first she hears nothing. Silence is deafening. The world mocks her efforts. Her heart trembles. But in that silence, I say, she is being shaped. You see, prayer is not magic. Prayer is not a wish list you present like coins in a fountain. Prayer is a conversation with the divine, a sacred space where your soul can speak honestly. It is in the rawness of prayer, the honesty of your lament, the courage to whisper fears aloud, that the deepest work begins. You are not weak because you struggle. You are human, and in your struggle you are being refined. Consider the Garden of Gethsemane. I knelt there, sweat falling like drops of fire, and I prayed with a heart heavy with sorrow. I begged, I wrestled, I sought the Father's will. Yet the lesson was clear, not that my suffering was removed, but that through prayer my spirit was strengthened. Prayer does not always change the circumstances, it changes the soul. And your soul, my beloved, is the battlefield where victory begins. Now you who feel small, unseen, underestimated, hear me. God does not measure your worth by the applause of men. Your worth is infinite, eternal, unshaken. And yet you must cultivate your inner life, just as a mother tends a child, just as a gardener tends the soil. You must tend your spirit with prayer. Speak to God as you would speak to your truest friend. Let your tears fall. Let your hopes rise. Let your dreams, even the ones that seem impossible, be whispered in the quiet of your heart. Many women fear that their prayers are too small, too imperfect, too mundane to matter. But I tell you, the lilies of the field do not labor. They do not compete. They simply grow, nourished by the unseen hand. And in the same way, your prayers, even the simplest ones, even the whispered ones in the dark, are heard. They are known. They are powerful. Do not despise the small beginnings. In the quiet moments, your soul is fortified, your vision clarified, your courage renewed. Let us speak of persistence. There was a woman, a widow, who came to a judge day after day, pleading for justice. At first he ignored her, at first he turned away, but she did not give up. She did not falter. She did not whisper her prayer once and leave. No, she returned over and over with relentless faith until her voice could not be denied. So it is with you. Persistence in prayer is not stubbornness, it is faith in motion. When your heart trembles, when your spirit wavers, when doubt threatens to silence your voice, keep praying, keep returning, keep speaking. God honors the prayers of a persistent heart. And understand this, prayer is not only for asking, prayer is for listening. In the silence of the morning, in the stillness before the world awakes, when you close your eyes and breathe deeply, God speaks in whispers, and sometimes the answer is not immediate. Sometimes it is a quiet nudge, a gentle shift, a subtle illumination. Be alert to the ways God moves in your life, not always with grandeur, but in moments that feel ordinary, yet are extraordinary in their transformation. Your struggles, your pain, your heartbreak, they are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to enter deeper prayer, to rise higher, to see the truth of your soul. There was a woman taken by shame, rejected by society, and yet she approached the temple, trembling, fearful, and I met her gaze. She knelt, not hiding, not masking, but open, vulnerable, real. And I said to her, "Your faith has made you whole." And in that moment, she understood that prayer is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is about daring to bring your brokenness before God and trusting that your soul is enough. I speak to you now, my daughters, my sisters, my warriors of the heart. The world may try to diminish you, to silence your voice, to tell you that your prayers do not matter. But I tell you with unshakable certainty, every prayer, every whispered hope, every tear shed in honest seeking is sacred. Every moment spent on your knees is a moment invested in your own resurrection. For prayer is not only a conversation with God, it is a transformation of your spirit, a reclaiming of your dignity, a deep awakening of your inner power. Do you feel weak? Pray. Do you feel afraid? Pray. Do you feel lost? Pray. Not once, not twice, but as often as your heart beats, as often as your soul longs. And know that prayer does not only shape your destiny, it shapes you, the woman who rises to meet it. Through prayer, you learn patience. Through prayer, you learn surrender. Through prayer, you learn that the divine sees, the divine hears, the divine loves, even when the world does not. Think of the woman who anointed my feet with oil, tears flowing freely, heart overflowing with devotion. People judged her, they whispered, they criticized, yet her prayer, her act of love, was recognized not by the world, but by heaven. Do not fear the judgment of men. Fear only that you will withhold your heart, that you will silence your soul, that you will allow pride or fear to prevent you from kneeling in truth. Let your prayers be bold, unashamed, fierce in devotion. Let them rise like incense, sweet and undeniable. And remember, prayer is not a solo act. It is a power that transforms community. When you pray with others, when you lift your voices together, mountains are moved, hearts are changed, chains are broken. Do not underestimate the impact of your prayer, whether in quiet solitude or in sacred gathering. There is strength in the unity of seeking, in the courage of collective faith, in the shared heartbeat of souls yearning for God. You may ask, Jesus, how do I pray when the night is dark, when hope feels distant, when despair presses upon me? I answer, pray as I did. Pray as a daughter, as a mother, as a sister. Pray with tears, with laughter, with trembling hands, with open heart. Pray not only for yourself, but for those around you, for those whose voices are silent, whose pain is hidden. Let your prayer be a river that nourishes life, that cleanses sorrow, that brings renewal. Do not be afraid to pour yourself out in prayer. Do not fear that your words are not eloquent, that your voice is not heard, that your faith is not enough. For God looks not at the eloquence of the tongue, but at the sincerity of the heart, the courage it takes to bow your head, to open your heart, to speak even when the world is deaf. That courage is recognized, treasured, rewarded beyond measure. And know this, beloved, prayer is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of strength in struggle. When you face betrayal, heartbreak, rejection, injustice, prayer is your lifeline. When you feel alone, abandoned, unseen, prayer is your refuge. When the weight of the world bends you, prayer straightens your spine and steadies your soul. The woman who prays is not weak, she is mighty. She is unshakable, she is fire. You have within you a divine spark, a sacred light, a relentless power that cannot be dimmed. Prayer fans that spark into flame. It gives voice to the invisible, strength to the weary, courage to the fearful, clarity to the confused. Do not wait for circumstances to change. Do not wait for the world to recognize your value. Begin now in the quiet of your room, on your knees, heart open, soul bared. Speak, listen, surrender. The kingdom of God is within you, and prayer is the bridge that connects you to it. Let me tell you again so that it sinks deep into your bones. The battles you face outside are only shadows of the battles within. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities, they can be conquered, they can be overcome, they can be transformed into courage, faith, and wisdom. And the instrument of that transformation is prayer, not a ritual, not a routine, not a checklist, but a living, breathing, relentless communion with God. And one final truth: there will be days when your prayers feel unanswered. There will be nights when your soul aches and cries out. There will be moments when the world seems indifferent, but even in those moments you are heard. Even in silence, your prayer moves mountains in ways you cannot yet see. Even in waiting, your spirit is being prepared, strengthened, purified, and lifted toward the destiny that is yours. So rise, daughters of light, bow in humility, speak with courage, pray with abandon. Let your heart be unafraid. Let your soul soar. Let your faith be unstoppable. For prayer is your armor, your sword, your refuge, your power. And through it you will rise, not because the world has changed, but because you have been transformed. The battlefield you face is not outside in the streets, not in the judgments of men, not in the fleeting struggles of this world. It begins here, within your own heart. You look outward, seeking power, strength, approval, and yet the true fight is hidden, invisible, silent, and relentless. Every fear, every doubt, every lie whispered into your soul. These are the true enemies, and the weapon to face them is prayer. Kneel, not with hesitation, but with courage. Speak honestly, not in rehearsed words, but with the raw truth of your spirit. Let your heart pour out its longing, its pain, its hope, its confusion, for it is in that intimacy, in that surrender, that the Spirit moves. Do you see the lilies of the field? They do not labor or worry, yet they grow. They do not cry out for attention, yet they are sustained. So too in prayer your soul is nourished, unseen, yet growing stronger, rising higher. When the storms of life batter you, when voices of fear scream in your ears, it is the quiet moments on your knees that prepare you for the battles ahead. Prayer is not a pause from the world. It is your armor, your shield, your sword. Every tear, every whispered plea, every word spoken in the silence builds strength that cannot be measured by human eyes. Consider the woman who faced ridicule for her faith, whose every step was questioned, whose every effort was dismissed. She knelt again and again, though no one watched, though no one applauded. Her prayers were not for attention, they were for transformation. And in that persistence, in that surrender, her spirit became unshakable. Her heart, once fragile, became a fortress. And so it is with you. The battlefield of your soul is won not when the world sees, but when your heart is aligned with the divine. Do not despise your struggle. Do not resent your tears. Each moment of honest prayer is a strike against fear, a triumph over doubt, a declaration that your spirit will not bow to the pressures of this world. On your knees you fight and you win, not with strength of arms, but with the courage of a heart fully surrendered to God. Do not be discouraged when the heavens seem silent, when your prayers echo back only with stillness. The world measures success in immediate results, in applause, in instant recognition, but the kingdom of God works differently. There is a rhythm, a divine timing, and a sacred persistence that must be honored. Like the widow who came before the unjust judge day after day, unrelenting in her plea, so must your heart return to prayer with courage and steadfastness. She did not waver because her hope was fragile. She returned because her faith was fierce, and in her persistence justice was finally served. Understand this. The power of prayer is not in a single utterance, but in a continuous heartbeat of devotion. The voice that trembles once may be ignored. The whisper that falters may seem unheard. But when you rise again and again, when your soul refuses to be silenced, heaven leans in. Each act of returning to God, each moment of kneeling with sincerity, strengthens you. It forms a rhythm in your life, a cadence of faith that cannot be broken by disappointment, sorrow, or delay. Consider the garden where I prayed alone under the shadow of looming suffering. I begged, I wrestled, I poured out my soul, and yet the answer was not immediate. The weight of the cross had not lifted, the path was not made easy, but in the discipline of prayer my spirit was fortified. Persistence does not always change what is happening outside. It transforms what is happening inside. Your soul becomes resilient, your heart becomes steady, your vision becomes clear. Do not allow your doubts to dictate your devotion. Return to your prayers even when your hands feel weak, even when your spirit questions, even when it seems the world has forgotten you. Let your persistence be a declaration. I will not yield. I will not be silenced. I will trust. Each repetition, each faithful return is a strike against despair, a victory against fear, a testimony that your faith is alive. The woman who persisted in seeking justice was not rewarded because of her eloquence or strength alone. She was recognized because she would not relent. So too your prayers repeated in honesty and courage shape destiny. Do not underestimate the power of persistence. What seems small today may move mountains tomorrow. What seems ignored now may become the turning point of your life. Stand firm, return, rise, and let your faith in prayer be unshakable. Do not think that prayer is merely a list of requests or a series of words repeated out of habit. Prayer is not a transaction, it is transformation. It is the fire that refines your spirit, the water that nourishes your soul, the light that reveals the truth hidden in your heart. Many come to me expecting instant change, expecting the storms of life to vanish with a single utterance. Yet the kingdom of God is not built on convenience. It is built on surrender, on honesty, on the willingness to let your heart be molded and your soul be shaped. Consider the woman who sat alone by the well, rejected by her community, burdened by shame and isolation. She came to pray, not for recognition, not for applause, but for understanding, for peace, for guidance. She spoke aloud her fears, her regrets, her longing, and in that prayer she began to see herself through God's eyes. Her circumstances did not immediately change. The people around her did not suddenly accept her, but inside she was reborn. Her heart grew strong, her mind grew clear, her spirit became unshakable. That is the power of prayer. It changes you first, so that the world around you may eventually reflect that change. Prayer transforms your patience, teaching you to wait without despair. Prayer transforms your courage, giving you the strength to rise when the world wants you to bow. Prayer transforms your vision, helping you to see not only what is, but what can be. You do not pray only to be heard. You pray to be healed, to be guided, to become whole. Every tear you shed, every sigh you breathe, every whispered word strengthens your soul, even when it feels invisible. Do not underestimate the quiet moments spent alone in prayer, those mornings when you kneel before the dawn, those nights when you cry into the darkness, those small acts of surrender. These are the moments that build resilience. The heart that prays becomes a heart that can love without fear. The mind that prays becomes a mind that can discern truth amidst chaos. The soul that prays becomes a soul that can rise even when everything falls around it. Prayer is not merely asking for miracles. It is learning to become the miracle. It is shaping your spirit, fortifying your resolve, awakening the divine light within you. Through prayer, you are transformed, strengthened, and prepared to face the world with courage, faith, and unwavering hope. Do not fear to bring the broken pieces of yourself before God. Many of you hide your pain, your shame, your struggles, afraid that the world will see you as weak. But I tell you, vulnerability is not weakness, it is power. The woman who approached me with trembling hands and a heart heavy with sin did not come cloaked in pride or perfection. She came as she was, raw, exposed, uncertain. And I said to her, "Your faith has made you whole." It was not her eloquence, her reputation, or her strength that brought her healing. It was her willingness to be seen as she truly was. Every tear you shed in prayer, every confession whispered in the quiet, every honest cry of your heart is sacred. These moments are not insignificant. They are the soil in which your soul grows strong. When you fear judgment from others, when you tremble at the thought of being misunderstood, remember that God looks not at the mask you wear, but at the sincerity of your heart. The woman who weeps at her failures, who trembles before her own fears, who kneels with all she is the one who experiences the deepest transformation. Consider the widow, lonely and overlooked, who came before the unjust judge day after day. She did not hide her persistence. She did not disguise her need. She showed up fully, and in her persistence, in her vulnerability, justice was delivered. So it is with prayer. Do not hold back. Speak with honesty. Pour out your soul. Lift your wounds to heaven, for they are not shameful. They are sacred. They are the keys to your strength, the passageway to your courage, the door to your freedom. Vulnerability in prayer allows you to confront the truths within yourself that fear tries to hide. It allows your heart to open, your mind to see, and your spirit to rise. When you embrace your weaknesses and offer them honestly before God, you discover that these very weaknesses are transformed into wells of strength. Your pain becomes your teacher, your sorrow becomes your guide, and your honesty becomes your shield. Do not wait for perfection to pray. Do not wait for courage to be complete. Bring your heart as it is. Let it tremble. Let it cry. Let it confess. In that sacred surrender, you find power beyond comprehension, courage beyond measure, and the kind of inner freedom that no circumstance, no judgment, no failure can ever take away. The kingdom of God is not a distant place you must travel to. It is not found only in temples or in the approval of others. It is within you, hidden in the depths of your spirit, waiting to be awakened through prayer. Many of you search outward for power, recognition, or validation, thinking that the world will lift you. Yet I tell you, the spark of divine life, the light that can transform every corner of your existence, already dwells within. Prayer is the bridge that connects you to this kingdom, the pathway that allows the invisible to become visible in your life. Do you see the mother who prays in silence, raising her hands over her children while tears stream down her face? She asks not only for provision, but for strength, patience, wisdom, and courage. And even in the quiet of her home, even when no one watches, heaven responds. Through her prayers, her heart aligns with the divine, and she becomes the source of light for those around her. She discovers that the power she sought in the world was already in her soul. Prayer simply unveiled it. You, too, have this power within. Do not measure it by the applause of others or by how quickly circumstances change. Measure it by the courage that grows in your heart, by the clarity that rises in your mind, by the love that overflows from your soul. When you pray, you do more than speak to God. You awaken the divine spark within yourself. Each word, each sigh, each whispered hope calls forth strength, peace, and vision. Consider the woman who labored under shame and rejection, who approached me with trembling faith. In her prayer, she found courage. In her surrender, she found freedom. In her vulnerability, she discovered power. The kingdom of God, which she thought was distant or unattainable, was within her all along. Through prayer, she became the miracle she sought. Do not wait for validation, success, or recognition from the world. Look within, bow in humility, and open your heart fully. Let your prayer awaken the light inside you. Let it guide your steps. Let it transform your struggles into triumphs. When your spirit aligns with God, when your soul recognizes its own divine nature, you become unstoppable. You are not merely a seeker, you are the living presence of the kingdom. Through prayer, you do not simply ask for miracles, you become the miracle.